Yeah. Well, we have been here for a good number of years running. The folks here always made us feel so welcome. And we have a lot of great memories. And now we can do it again for y'all.
Yes.
So we have a somewhat different membership from the last time. You might have been here, so we've added Maria Fairchild to the group. And Max has been with us for a while. Mary has been with Patrick. You know, Patrick reminded me, I think Patrick's been with us for like 16 years. I have no sense of time. Doesn't seem like it, but it's, yeah, sort of like that. So anyway, we're going to do our thing. And a great song to start out with. Let me find my button. Oh, there's my button.
Don't forget to sing on the chorus.
So we have a whole bunch of songs with choruses. You know, and choruses, it's really great if you guys help out with it. And my basic recommendation for choruses is like, all the notes are optional, the words are optional. Do something. Make some kind of noise. Hand clapping, foot tapping. We haven't seen any dancing in any of our shows, and I don't know if I'd even encourage that, but as you know, here we are in the library, and most of us are kind of getting up there, you know, in the year department. So, but if you felt like getting up and dancing, it would be, it probably would be safe enough. All right, so we're going to start with Whiskey in the Jar.
Whack all the daddy-o, whack all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now as I was out walking until down the mountain, I met Colonel Powell and his money was counting. I drew forth my pistol and I ran out my saber. I said, stand and deliver, or I am the boldest saber. Push a ring up the jar. Whack all the daddy-o, whack all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. All the money in me hand, it looked so fine and jolly. I brought it right straight home to give it to my Polly. She promised and she swore never to deceive me, but the devil's in the women and they all lie so easy. Push a ring under the jar. Whack all the daddy-o, whack all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went to my chamber to prepare myself for slumber, dream of gold and silver, but sure it was no wonder. Molly took my pistols and she filled them up with water, and called on Colonel Powell to make ready for a slaughter. Push a ring under the jar. Rock all the daddy-o, rock all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Between 6 and 7, with cards all around me and numbers all uneven. I sprang for my pistols, but alas I was mistaken. I couldn't shoot no water, so a prisoner I was taken. Push a ring under the jar. Whack all the daddy-o, whack all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Oh, they took me to the jail without the judge's writing. Robbing Colonel Powell upon Gilgal Mountain. They did not take me fists, so I knocked that jailer down. Bid a fond farewell to that jail in Sligo town. Push a ring under the jar. Whack all the daddy-o, whack all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now some may taste delight in the box and pen of Olin, and others taste delight in the carriages are rolling. I taste
was in single digits of age in the 1950s, and they used to play this on the radio. Some of you will remember that. So I got infected by it back then, and I have loved it ever since. Once I got older and started, you know, playing some folk instruments, it's like, oh, I can do that too, kind of. And then later met some friends to do it with, and been doing that ever since. So I've been really, I feel really grateful that there have been so many people I've run into to share this with, both in terms of making the music and to share it with you guys. And another one, another great song that I'm sure is on the radio all the time. The Gypsy Rover. Yeah, you know that one, right? I love seeing you look smoothie. You were a younger person was singing along with yeah, that was great. So whether you know it or not, this chorus is the best. The chorus goes ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, ah-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady.
This is alternatively known as the Whistler Gypsy. So if anybody can whistle or has teeth missing in the front, you can help us out. We do have two whistlers now.
Yeah, you don't want to do that whistle. No, just melodic whistle. Now the gypsy rover came over the hill, down through the valleys of shade. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, ah-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. She left her father's castle gate, left her own fond lover, left her servants and the state to follow the gypsy rover. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, ah-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. Whistle and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. Well, her father saddled his fastest steed to ride the valleys all over. He sought his daughter at great speed, and the whistling gypsy rover. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, ah-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. Well, he rode till he came to a castle fine, down by the river lady. There was music and there was wine, for the gypsy and his lady. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, ah-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. It's no gypsy, my father, she said. Lord of these lands all over, I will stay till my dying day with my whistling gypsy rover. forward to raise their child.
We have a fun little song that actually used to be used, maybe it still is, I don't know, as a children's game, kind of like Ring Around the Rosie, where the kids dance around in a ring, jump in and out, clap their hands, depending on whatever's going on in the words to the song. And wherever this song is sung, they put the name of their local city into the chorus, so we know that this version is from Belfast. I'll tell my mom when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pulled my hair and stole my comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? Says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Knock on the door and they ring the bell. Oh my true love, are you well? Here she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on toe. Old Timmy Murray says she'll die if she didn't get the boy with the broken hand. I tell my mom when I go home, the boys won't be and the girls alone. They pulled my hair and stole my comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? She'll get her own by and by. When she gets so loud of her own, she won't tell us as she comes home. Let the boys say as they will, work out their clothing, she loves them. I tell my mom when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pulled my hair and stole my comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she?
So we got Max had a special request.
Oh, no, we're not doing Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure everybody realized if they saw
That's right.
the all the instruments we brought in today, we still didn't have enough, so we used Max's body.
I still think you should think of a better way to phrase that.
Next year, Daddy.
Oh, you love it, Max.
So we're going to shift gears here. Had your 3 happy-go-lucky songs.
Your turn for what?
My turn for the tragic relief. This is a song, a poem that was collected by a guy named Yates. You might know him. It's called The Sally Gardens, and a little research told me that Sally is not a person. It is a reference to the word sallow. So it's a sallow field, a sallow garden. And I got this from John McCormick. Anybody know John McCormick anymore? 100 years ago, John McCormick was doing his thing. But this is my take on this. Everybody else is gonna help me out.
John McCormack was a famous Irish tenor.
Yeah, if they don't know that, they shouldn't be here. So.
No, we welcome everyone.
They have to learn sometime.
What's that?
They have to learn sometime.
Yeah, I get it.
Why not you?
It was down by the Sally Garden, my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with her little snow white feet, and she bade me take love easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I was young and foolish, and with her did not agree. In a field down by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand, and she bade me take life easy as the grass grows on the whiz. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of tears. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with her little snow white feet, and she bade me take love easy as the leaves fall from the tree. But I am old and lonely, for with her I did not agree.
When Patrick joined us, we got not just an Irish tenor voice, but an amazing Irish tenor voice. And pretty amazing guitar playing going along with it. Yes. So life's been good for that.
So then we got this guy showing up, from this very room showing up. I was like, who's that little kid over there?
Oh, yeah.
His mom.
I know.
What was that?
Yeah, well, you are not old enough for me to give you.
He had like peach fuzz on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max used to be out there in the audience, came to our concerts, and was always kind of bringing the banjo in a concertina. And one day he called me up and said, "You think maybe I could go out and maybe just play some music with you guys?" I said, "Well, sure." He came out and knocked my socks off completely. That was it, and he just keeps getting more amazing ever since. So there you go.
Thanks, Larry. No pressure at all.
Well, I asked Max to do this song because my friend Patty is here, and she grew up in an Irish-American family, and she told me that she's been to some interesting wakes.
Oh yes, I have them all.
The subject of our next song.
Yep. Tim Finnegan lived in a walking street. a gentle Irishman, mighty odd. He had a brogue both rich and sweet, and to rise in the world he carried a hod. The ascetic sort of a tippler's way, with the love for liquor port him was born. And to help him on his way each day, to drop the border every morn. Quack, put it on, and dance to the partner, run for you conquer shit. Was it in the truth, like tells you lots of fun at the his way. One morning Tim felt mighty full, his head felt heavy, which made him shake. He fell from a ladder and broke his skull, and they carried him home his corpse to wake. They wrapped him up in a nice clean sheet, and laid him out upon the bed, with a paramour at his feet and a bottle of whiskey at his head. Quack, put it on, and dance to the partner, run for you conquer shit. Was it into the truth that tells you lots of fun and his way. His friends assembled at the wake, all two of them, and Mrs. Finnegan called for lunch. Then first she brought out tea and cake, then pipes of tobacco and whiskey punch. And Biddy O'Brien began to cry, such a nice clean corpse did she ever see. Oh, take the morning, why did you die? Did you hold your gloves, his Patrick tea? Whack, put it on, and dance to the partner, well, glorious runner shit. Wasn't it the truth? I tell you lots of fun and his way. Now Maggie O'Connell took up the job. Biddy, said she, you're wrong, I'm sure. So Biddy fetched her a deck in the car, which left her sprawling on the floor. And then the war did soon engage, to as woman to woman and man to man. Shillelagh was all the rage, and round the eruption soon began. Whack, put it on, and dance to the partner, run the glorious conquer shit. Wasn't it the truth? I tell you lots of fun and his way. Now Larry Moser, he ducked his head as a bottle of whiskey flew in. It whisked and broke up on the bed, the whiskey scattered over Tim. My God, you're alive, see how he rises, Timothy rising from the bed, saying, hurl the whiskey around like blazes, thunder and case, you think I was dead? Quack, put it on, and dance to your partner, well, the glorious runner shake. Was it in the truth? I tells you lots of fun at Finnegan's way. Quack, put it on, and dance to your partner, well, the glorious runner shake. Was it in the truth? I tells you lots of fun at Finnegan's way.
I did see one or two mouths moving on that.
Oh, at least three.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. So we're going back to Maria.
And don't want to give you any whiplash, but we're going to shift gears again.
Yeah.
So,
In a good way.
this song goes back to the Napoleonic Wars, early 1800s. And Napoleon was fighting a lot of different countries, but most importantly for the Irish, he was fighting the British. And you know that saying that the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Well, some Irish people took that to heart and they joined up and went to fight for Napoleon just so they could fight the British. And yeah. And so this song is about one person who went to join that fight. It's called The Bonny White Horseman. When Boney commanded his armies to stand, he leveled his cannon right over the land. He leveled his cannon, his victory to gain, and my bonny white horseman in the wars he was slain. Oh, Napoleon Bonaparte, you're the cause of my woe, since my bonny white horseman to the wars he did go. Broken-hearted I wander, broken-hearted I remain, since my Polly like horseman in the wars he was slain. And if I was some small bird, and had wings and could fly, I could fly across the salt sea, where the night does lie. 3 years and 6 months now, since he left this bright shore, but my body, my horseman, will I never see you more. Oh, Napoleon Bonaparte, you're the cause of my woe, since my body, my horseman, to the wars he did go. Broken-hearted I wander, broken-hearted I remain, since my body, my horseman, in the wars he was slain. Now the dove she laments for her mate as she flies. Oh, where, tell me where is my darling, she cries. And where in this wide world is there one to compare with my body, my horseman, who was slain in the war? Oh, Napoleon Bonaparte, you're the cause of my woe, since my body, my horseman, to the wars he did go. Broken-hearted I wander, broken-hearted I remain, since my body, my horseman, in the wars he was slain.
Well, here's a time when I didn't have to shift gears and put the accordion on the floor. Actually, I don't have to do that today. I'm only playing
Nice.
You're not playing anything sort of.
traveling light, only a 40-pound accordion.
You only play one instrument?
Yeah.
You take a pay cut. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, years ago, I started out mostly playing guitar years ago, because that's as one does. And then, going back half a dozen years, I started just kind of like not playing so much, just doing this and hammer dulcimer, concertina. And a few years ago, I decided, oh, I really want to kind of get back to guitar playing. Getting older and hands are kind of stiff, and said, okay, I'm going to practice. I'm going to start getting, yeah, that's getting a little better, I can kind of deal with it. I pushed it too hard, and I heard a snap in his finger. So, oh, something wasn't so good, so it hasn't been quite right since. But also, things just gotten stiff. So this season, I thought, I'm going to play guitar and some stuff, and I did. But things are just kind of working better, accepting the reality. And the other instruments are working fine. As some of you know, guitar is a challenge. You've got to do a lot of that's like push your hand into a pedal.
Whatever are you talking about?
Yeah. So that happens. Anyway, so I'm mostly just doing this today. We're going to do a tune that an old-time traditional Irish hornpipe that I wrote about 40 years ago.
40?
Could it be?
No.
50?
No.
It counts as traditional because it was written before I was born.
Oh, you're right.
Traditional.
All right, okay, I
The
exaggerated.
young lady who it was written for
That's
is
20
what,
years ago.
is 30 years old at least,
At
and he's got
least.
2 kids.
Yeah, but probably, Mary's probably right. So our friend John Core, who used to play with us, and we hope will again someday, his daughter Mary Ellen was in a step dancing class. They were going to be in a competition, and they were working on their thing to a tune called the King of the Fairies, a very famous Irish tune. And 2 weeks before, they were told, you can't use that tune. This other group claimed it. So, how did they not? No. So John asked me, he's like, you think maybe you could come up with something? So I had a cunning plan. Anyway, and for any of you Blackadder fans out there. So I came up with this tune, which they used, and they went and won first prize. So yeah, I have a first prize winning tune. Well, not first.
This tune is a hornpipe.
Yep.
And it is my favorite traditional Irish hornpipe.
Yeah.
It's
like
better
that
than
too.
the King of the Fairies. It's
Oh,
good.
I would say that. And John, I can never name things, but John decided to call it The Linnet in the Grove, which goes perfectly with it, so we'll do that for you. So we're going to pass this back over to Max, according to my list here, to do something new that he brought into our set. Actually, there's two new things. One is the song but actually, we acquired a genuine Irish button accordion.
Genuine.
Yeah.
It is the real deal. It will take you back to the song you saw. Right back. And I am allowed to talk like this. My name is Patrick Francis O'Rourke and I'm one of 9 children. Is that right? Okay.
Oh, you're actually second generation, aren't you?
Second and a half.
Yeah.
Side of the street,
So this is a song called "The Heart Without the Crown." It's about a tall ship called the Shenandoah that sailed back and forth between New York Harbor and Dublin in the 1860s and beyond. And on one year, apparently they made New York Harbor on March 17th, which you can imagine was used as an excuse for excessive celebration. Right? All the famous Yankee ships in New York she was bound. A captain being an Irishman belonging to Dublin town. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gallants of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. And when he gazes on that fortress city of renown, they spring away the green birchie and the heart without the crown. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gallants of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. As on the 17th of March we ride to New York Bay, the captain being an Irishman to celebrate the day. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without the crown. The stars and stripes all high aloft and fluttering all around, but underneath the funky jazz, the heart without the crown. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without the crown. And now we're bound for Frisco, boys, and things are running wild. The officers and men go drunk around the dancer pile. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. And now we're bound for Frisco, and things are making fun. The officers and men go drunk around the dancer pile. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. Sometimes the weather's fine and fair, sometimes it's damp or foul. Sometimes it blows a Cape or gale and freezes on your soul. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. Sometimes the work is hard as hell, sometimes the grub is stinks. Enough to make the soldier curse or make the bishop blink. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without a crown. By tomorrow morning, lads will work without a crown. On board the Shenandoah flies the heart without the crown. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without the crown. Hurrah, hurrah, for the gals of Dublin town. Hurrah for the money green flag and the heart without the crown.
Don't bother to Now I do have to do a serious shift. Huh? You don't need to do this. Huh? What? Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's important.
Okay. So, here's a song I've been doing for the last few years. It's called Don't Bother to Knock. So apparently, it's something that was kind of out in the 1950s, but I didn't know that. And I had a friend, John O'Hara, who went and was doing some research for repertoire and found it in a book and had never heard it, so he came up with a great arrangement. What I thought was a great arrangement. And then after he kind of left for California, it's like, I haven't done it for like a long, long, long time. But I wanted to start doing it again. I love that song. So I wanted to relearn it. So I went and looked it up. Of course, I didn't go to the library. I just went to Google. And unfortunately, it wasn't working very well. I wasn't finding it. It took a long time. But eventually, I found there was a YouTube video. There was a YouTube video of Carmel Quinn singing the song. And I was a little bit shocked because, oh, that's not how I'm used to it. And I kind of like John's version better for the most part, but then I like the original version. Good, so I combined it. And it has a part for you, and you have to involve your hands. Okay? It goes, so the chorus is, don't bother to knock. Don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock. Don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. We got some good knockers out there. Clappers. Clappers.
I think you might need to rephrase that one too.
Anyway. Have you ever been to Riley's place outside of Ballyduff? They say that Riley has a still, brews the finest stuff. If you want to taste the Mountain Dew, then go there any day. If Riley hears you coming, he will lift his voice and say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Now the quality of Riley's brew led quickly to his fame. But soon the local sergeant had caught on to his game. He hopped up on his bicycle and rode down Riley's way to his most officious Canuck. He heard old Riley say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. When Riley went before the judge, he thought he'd just be fined. It turned out that Riley's judge was not the drinking kind. He packed old Riley off to jail with very small delay. When Riley reached the prison gates, he heard the warden say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Now all the town was saddened when they heard that Riley died. His wake was well attended by good friends from far and wide. He floated up to heaven on a clear and pleasant day. When Riley reached the pearly gates, he heard St. Peter say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Now that's the tale of Riley and his very pleasant end. They say that up in heaven, he's St. Patrick's greatest friend. 'Twas Riley's brew that drove the snakes from Erin's lovely shore. That's why this Irish welcome waits for you at every door. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. One more time. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and come right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Woo-hoo!
Top marks for singing here.
Yeah, for the singing, everything. Okay, well, we're going over to Maria and Ken. Yeah, and now I kind of made a boo-boo today. It's like, I was packing up the car. We do this with a little percussion accompaniment. And I forgot to put the percussives in the car. But we got here.
Did you get nothing about those?
We're doing Colcana, right?
Colcana, not cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Cool is that? Say that, well, they do cool.
No, she can do that, don't worry, we'll knock on things, I'll just go like this.
No, I thought you played the cool game.
I do. But I just.
Which one do you
I'll
want?
finish this. Why don't we do Cool now and do Colcana later?
Okay.
Because
Good.
I want to finish the story, so I didn't see it.
It's so hard getting home.
Oh, really? Yeah, it is. Yeah, things are stiff enough. But anyway, but we got here, and we're looking in the back, and
Oh, they have a whole box.
Cool, man. Cool, reading crazy nightmares.
You know, I think
Bad New Jersey.
The traditional Irish bongo drums.
What the hell do you think you're doing with that thing on your lap? What the hell are you doing, man? It's gonna be a moron, there's nothing yet. Okay? Come on,
Well,
sticks.
yeah, I think the traditional Irish way is you only play one side of it.
Traditional Irish, oh, okay.
I got plenty of feet.
So this goes with a very traditional Irish song. In fact, it goes back to the 1400s.
Count yourself.
In Gaelic, of course.
That's
I'm not singing Gaelic,
Yeah.
but we sing the English translation now. And when I heard this song, I didn't sing that.
All right, that's good. Turn it up.
I didn't know that that this song is actually a lullaby, because it didn't sound like that to me. But if you know that the Gaelic word for lullaby translates as baby tickling song, then this song makes sense.
See.
Who is that there now tapping the window pane? Who is that there tapping the window pane? Who is that there now tapping the window pane? Only myself says, Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should say, cool. And who is that there now climbing the stairs to me? Who is that there climbing the stairs to me? Who is that there now climbing the stairs to me? Only myself says, cool. Dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool. And who is that there now pulling the blankets down? Who is that there pulling the blankets down? Who is that there now pulling the blankets down? Only me says cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool. And who is that there now tickling the toes of me? Who is that there tickling the toes of me? Who is that there now tickling the toes of me? Only me self says cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool. And who is that there now tickling the thighs of me? Who is that there tickling the thighs of me? Who is that there tickling the thighs of me? Only me self says cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool. And who is that there now breaking the fire for me? Who is that there breaking the fire for me? Who is that there now breaking the fire for me? Only me self says cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Cool, dear, don't come any near to me. Maybe I should just cool.
We were actually missing 2 drums, so I found this, and I suggested that Max use his accordion case, and it worked out very well.
Percussion.
And there's always your body.
There's always that.
So we're going over to Patrick for a solo.
Yeah, this is a song, we usually work out arrangements and stuff like that for most things, but This one seems to only work, at least for me, only as just a solo piece for the most part. This is again another John McCormick song. I only discovered it a few years ago, and it's such a lovely little tune. It's very similar in plot to the original Foggy Dew, which is a guy takes a walk in the woods and meets a hot girl and says, "Hey, I want to get married." And in the Foggy Dew, she says yes. And this one, One morning early as I walked forth by the margin of Loch Leen, the sunshine dressed the trees in green, and summer bloomed again. I left the town and wandered on through fields all green and gay, and whom should I meet but my Colleen sweet at the dawning of the day. No cap nor cloak this maiden wore, her neck and feet were bare. Down to the grass in ringlets fell her glossy golden hair. A milking pail was in her hand, she was lovely, young and gay, and she wore the palm from Venus bright by the dawning of the day. On a mossy bank I sat me down, with a maiden by my side. With gentle words I courted her, and asked her to be my bride. She said, "Young man, God bring me blame," and swiftly turned away. And the morning light was shining bright by the dawning of the day.
Oh, this
Here's
is,
another Max standby.
well, this is my favorite part of the show. It is.
Is that because I do all the work now?
Yeah.
What? Excuse me? Excuse me, with my chopped liver?
There you go. Well, no, it's my favorite because,
I'm like twice your age and I gotta keep up with you in this week. I'm almost gonna take it away there, Buster.
and herein you will see the reason why we haven't adopted a younger person into our. I used to do this one, and no need ever, no more.
They make such a big deal about age here, don't they? Jeez. This is a fairly self-explanatory drinking song. And when I say self-explanatory, I mean extremely self-explanatory. I mean every single little tiny detail is explained here. We have a chorus. I encourage you to join me on it. You can join me on anything else you can too.
Well, the chorus is Odoro, that's O-R-O, Odoro, the Ratlin Bog. Ratlin, not making noise, meaning wonderful. The bog down in the valley, oh. And then again, Odoro, the Ratlin Bog, the bog down in the valley.
And you gave away the song, so the shock factor is gone. And, there was a bog, a rare bog in a Ratlin bog. And the bog down in the valley, oh, the Ratlin bog down in the valley, oh, the Ratlin bog down in the valley, oh. And in this the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, roll, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, roll, rap and log, rock down in the valley. And on this branch there was a twig, 'twas a rare twig and a rattling twig. And the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Now on this twig there was a nest, 'twas a rare nest and a rattling nest. And the nest on the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Now in this nest there was an egg, 'twas a rare egg and a rattling egg. And the egg and the nest and the nest on the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Now on this egg there was a bird, 'twas a rare bird and a rattling bird. What the heck kind of bird is that?
Not that kind of bird.
I'm not a fan of these birds. And the bird and the egg and the nest and the nest and the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Now on this bird there was a feather, it was a rare feather and a rattling feather. And the feather and the bird and the bird and the egg and the nest and the nest and the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Now on this feather there was a louse.
Ew.
What?
A louse? You sure
Nobody
about that?
wants to hear about lice.
What does it? Singular louse. One louse.
There's no such thing.
No, I'm gonna nitpick on this. You sure it was a louse?
The puns get worse every year. And the louse and the feather and the bird and the bird and the egg and the egg and the nest and the nest and the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree and the tree and the hole and the hole and the log down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, rock down in the valley. Oh, rap and log, and the log down in the valley. Oh.
Yeah, as Mary said, I used to sing that song. I'm never going to do that again. I could never, ever have gotten that fast. But I didn't know you're supposed to do that. Well, not like light speed.
So, here's that song we were almost going to do before. Oh, right, we're doing it now.
This is good.
It's a food song. I like to call it the Ode to the Potato.
Right? Yes, yes.
It doesn't quite have recipes, but it gives you an idea of where to start if you want to use up leftover potatoes, mashed potatoes. There's Colcannon is the name of the song. That's the first dish they talk about. There's another one called Boxty, another version of potatoes and onions and stuff. And this song was actually written as a song of nostalgia, and quite a while ago. And last year we were singing this at an assisted living home. Nice place. Everybody was singing along with the words and very attentive. And I introduced this song and I said, "Here's a song from about 100 years ago." And a man sitting right in front said, "So are we."
Oh, God, we're going to use that.
So, audience participation is very important. So, Colcannon, that's my A. Okay. Do I wait for you to start?
No.
Well, did you ever make Colcannon made with lovely little cream, made with love and skeletons make a picture in a dream? Did you ever make a hole atop to hold the melted flake of the creamy flavored butter that our mothers used to make? Oh, you did, so you did.
the more I think about it, sure the nearer I'm to cry. What weren't them the happy days when troubles we knew not, and our mother's maple cannon in the little skillet pot.
Oh, did you ever take potato cake and boxy to the school? Tucked underneath your oxter with your butcher's slate and rule. When teacher wasn't looking, sure a great big bite you'd take of the creamy flavored, soft and melted sweet potato cake.
So you did, so you did, so did he, and so did I. And the more I think about it, sure the nearer I'm to cry. Oh, weren't them the happy days when troubles we knew not, and your father's maple cannon in the little skillet pot.
Quarton boys when the evening sun went down, the cooking and the peeping from behind the hills of town. You wandered on the boring where the cook rock would sing, and you whispered fine praises to your own sweet Colleen.
Oh, you did, so did he, and so did I. The more I think about it, sure the nearer I'm to cry. More than the happy days when troubles we knew not, and the mother's maple cannon in the little skillet pot. Oh, you did, so did he, and so did I. And the more I think about it, sure the nearer I'm to cry. More than the happy days when troubles we knew not, and the mother's maple cannon in the little skillet pot.
So here's a new one from me, for me to sing, but it was made up by a fellow named Mickey McConnell over in Ireland. And you'll see that it was certainly done relatively recently. Just a second while I do this. Okay. So, over the last few years, a couple of German grocery stores have been proliferating. Anybody shop at Lidl?
Yeah.
Anybody shop at Aldi? Yeah. Well, I'm very mad at them because there was a great supermarket chain called Best Market. I love that. They had like the best bakery section anyway. Well, they messed up their finances, and Lidl took them over. So I went and checked out. I was like, no, not for me. But having browsed around, I'm into grocery stores.
No.
So I have to,
Yeah.
I go out shopping and cooking and like that. I love browsing around and saying, what might they have over
Looks
here?
like he shopped in a foreign country when it comes
Well, no, not at Lidl. But anyway, so I saw what the store was like. It's like, okay, that's peculiar. And then a few weeks ago, I discovered this song. I said, okay, I have to do it. And it takes advantage of an Irish thing. You know, the little thing, that sort of thing.
Excuse me, it's called.
Oh, that's the difference, right. Sort of like that. Well, I was doing the Little Beggar Man, but anyway. Okay. So, and it's got, you'll see when your part comes. It's the end of each verse. Well, the wife, she broke her ankle when she tumbled off the bike, leaving me to do the housework, a job I never liked. Doing the weekly shopping seemed a dreadful chore to me, till I discovered little D-Aldi, little D-Aldi, little D. Now I just can't wait for Thursdays when the specials go on view. I'm the first man to the trolleys, I'm the first man in the queue. For now I know what women mean by retail therapy. It's little D-Aldi, little D-Aldi, little D-Aldi, little D. It's angle grinders and black puddings and a pot of German jam. a lump of hairy bacon, that's a real thing, and a wetsuit from Japan, a pack of streaky rashers, a crate of Russian stout, and a portable generator just in case the lights go out, alloy wheels and windscreen wipers, and a bag of rooster spuds, an inflatable rubber dinghy to help survive the floods, spanners, sockets, and fish fingers, they're so cheap, they're damn near free. At liddly-owdy, 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 liddly-dee. There's welding rods and prime organic beef to make a hearty stew. A hiking staff and spiky boots for climbing Kathmandu. Big heads of curly cabbage to make you eat your fill. Sledgehammers and bananas and a lovely cordless drill. And there's hatchets and hamburgers and there's tins of beans and peas. And a petrol-driven chainsaw for cutting bits off trees. Skimmers, saber saws and sausages, computers and TVs. And liddly-owdy, 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 liddly-dee. Now the wife has gone ballistic, marriage heading for the rocks. With her crutches and her shopping bag, she's hobbling around the shops. She's got up all me credit cards, I'm sad as sad can be. No more outy, liddly-owdy, no more liddly-dee for me. For the shed is full of plastic junk I didn't really want. The garden's full of furniture and the house is full of plants. And I'm living in a doghouse over Fido, Shep, and me. Because of outy, liddly-owdy, liddly-owdy, liddly-dee. So no more angle grinders, nor black puddings, no more pots of German jam. No lumps of hairy bacon, no wetsuits from Japan. No packs of streaky rashers, and I'll have to do without another portable generator, just in case the lights go out. No alloy wheels, no windscreen wipers, no bags of rooster spuds. No inflatable rubber dinghy to help survive the floods. I'm living in the doghouse, I'm sad as sad can be. No more outy, liddly-owdy, no more liddly-dee for me. We're kind of coming down so that I can hear. How about all right. But yeah, we'll do same break then.
So, here's a song that goes way back. It's based on the Derry air, the London Derry air. If you want to get slapped in the face, you say Londonderry. No, it's the Derry air, and the words came from a gentleman named Fred Weatherly. And it's got its detractors, it's got its... I once worked an Irish show backstage, a gentleman named Tony Kenny. Anybody ring a bell there? And he does the Irish shows in Dublin, the cliched Tam O'Shanter kind of thing. And that's his version, and I have my version of Danny Boy here with assistance from the band. And it's a challenge. Again, it can be so overwrought, but it can also be very deep in its way. But feel free to sing along.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the rose is falling. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But if you come and all the flowers dying, and I am dead, for dead I may well be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and neither sin of it there for me. And I shall hear the soft tread above me, and all my dreams shall warm and sweet to be. For if you bend and tell me that you love me, then I will sleep in peace until you come to me. Oh, Tally boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the rose is falling. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
So we're going to wrap it up with a song for you to help out with. So let's see. That's a good sound. So, anybody remember Jimmy Driftwood? He wrote about 5,000 songs, lived down in Florida. And do you remember the song that was on the radio, The Battle of New Orleans?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, oh, we fired our guns and the bridge kept coming. Wasn't that? That was one by him. So, but anyway, he wrote this one, and I had no idea. A bunch of years ago, I was at a folk music festival, and Mick Maloney was doing a set. Mick was one of my absolute favorite singers of Irish songs. And not only was he a great singer, but he was a PhD expert in that. He was just a great entertainer. And he sang this song. Well, I didn't know it, Jimmy. And to me, it's a Mick Maloney song. But anyway, we're going to do it. Anybody familiar with St. Brendan? St. Brendan was a real person. He was famous for traveling in the waters around the coasts of Europe and establishing monasteries. And legend had it that he might, in one of his voyages, have actually made it to North America. There don't seem to be any traces, like no cans of Guinness on them, mittens, but it's possible. I think there is evidence that he did get to Iceland.
And all the information presented in this song is 100% true.
Well, I just read an article actually that referenced him that said he made it to the Faroe Islands before the Vikings. I kid you not.
Yeah, before the Vikings. So he established the monastery so the Vikings could come and pillage them. The choruses. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Now when I was a lad on the Emerald Isle, I heard many stories, lovely and vile, about the great dragons and monsters that feed us all on all the ships as they sail on the sea. Oh, I was an artist with canvas and paint, I sailed with St. Brendan and his jolly saints. Told the people goodbye for a while, we sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. Now we've been on the ocean for 94 days when we came to the spot where the sea was ablaze. Demons from Hades were dancing with the lee and burning the sailors alive on the sea. And St. Brendan walked on the blistering waves. He threw all those demons right back to their caves. And all the saints wore a heavenly smile. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. Now one night while the brethren were lying asleep, a great dragon came up from under the deep. He thundered and lightened and made a great din. He awakened St. Brendan and all of his men. That dragon came on with his mouth open wide. We threw in the cross and the great dragon died. We skinned it and cooked it and feasted the pile. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. Now at last we came onto that beautiful land. We all went ashore and we walked on the strand. We took our long bows and we killed the sea boom. We roasted it up and had hot barbecue. After a while we were singing a song. We noticed the island was moving along. We ate and we drank and we rode in nice fun. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. And Brendan said, boys, this is much to my wish. We ride on the back of the world's biggest fish. Hold fast to the rope that is pulling the ship. We'll need it someday if this fish takes a dip. We sail every ocean, we sail every sea. We sail every spot that a sailor could be. In 44 days we sailed 10 million miles. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed to St. Brendan's fair isle. So we're going to keep on celebrating. So thank you all so much. Thank you to Sean and Patrick and the South Country Library. So good to be back.
Thank you.